Hey guys, welcome back to Do It Live, and we're in the old setup, but we have something new for you. We have the new Alienware 15R3, which is an amazing laptop, and I want to tell you why. So, we're taking a look at the Alienware 15R3, and that means it's the third revision of the Alienware 15 series, but it is a pretty big revision as it doesn't look anything like the R2. They've done a whole new chassis, something called the forward hinge or move forward hinge, which now has a dedicated area for the cooling, which I think is really cool. But there's a lot of good things about this laptop. So the biggest thing about this laptop right here is that it has a new Pascal 10 series GeForce graphics cards, which no longer have that M moniker. They are full desktop grade graphics cards in a form factor like that, which is so impressive to me. And they're only within 5 to 10% of their desktop equivalents, which means that this bad boy beats something like a GTX 980, or probably just about the same level since it can't overclock as well. And that's one of the things with the laptops that we'll get into. So, without further ado, let's introduce the Alienware 15R3. So one of the cool things about the Alienware R3 15R3, you get the idea, is this side LED lighting. Sorry about the zoom. As you can see, it has LED zones that go across the side of the laptop instead of on the back as it was in the triangle format before, if you've seen the Alienware R2 series. Of course, you have your zone LED lighting there, just as usual. This model comes equipped with a 60 Hz IPS panel, which, as you can tell, has great viewing angles. Only downside is that you don't get the G-Sync, or you don't get 120 Hz like other monitors that are out there right now. But 60 Hz IPS, and you get NVIDIA Optimus since it's not using G-Sync. So speaking of G-Sync and the lack of on this laptop, you guys might be aware of a technology called NVIDIA Optimus, which will optimize your graphics cards and the onboard graphics that's included in the Intel 6th generation processor to switch between both of them to save yourself some battery and be good to use this gaming laptop on the go. Because this doesn't have G-Sync, it has Optimus. The two are not inclusive, so they are exclusive. If you have one, you can't have the other. Since G-Sync syncs up your graphics card straight to the display, and it can't do Optimus because of that. So that's one key thing about this. The battery life is pretty decent for a gaming laptop of this caliber. It is about 3.5 to 4 hours of heavy use, not heavy usage, but moderate usage, some streaming, some video editing, some photo editing on the go. That's what I've noticed. It's been pretty good to me, I won't lie. And I gotta say, one of the downsides to this laptop is that it's quite heavy. So as I mentioned, the laptop is pretty heavy, and the reason why is because it is actually quite large. So I took some dimensions down and compared this to the Asus 17-inch gaming laptop, and this laptop, the Alienware 15, is about 1.5 inches thinner on this height, and the width is about 1 inch and a bit. But this is a 15-inch laptop, so the 15-inch screen doesn't even use all of the real estate. There is quite a huge bezel on the laptop, as you'll see here, right around the edges, and then the bottom area has a huge bezel that has the Alienware logo there. You know they love to show off that stuff. So that's one of the problems that I've found with this laptop, is it's physically big for a 15-inch laptop. I have another 15-inch laptop at my other place, and this is bigger than it, but also way more powerful. And man, I can't hold my words today. So let me get down to the specs. So my version is running an Intel i7 6700 HQ, which is a quad-core 2.6 gigahertz processor that can boost up to 3.1 gigahertz. It's pretty good. You get, well, mine has 16 gigs of RAM, but the default is 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM at 2400 megahertz. And then you can get the GTX 1060. There's a 1070 version of this. Doesn't go up to the 1080. You need to go up to the Alienware 17 for that. But it does come with a whole crap ton of I/O, which I really like, especially display ports. So, on the back here, you have your usual power. This is the Alienware graphics amplifier, which allows you to attach an external graphics card enclosure and bump up the graphics if somewhere down the line the GTX 1060 is not enough anymore, which to be honest it will be for a while. You have your Thunderbolt 3, which also supports Razer Core and other external graphics amplifiers and Thunderbolt compliant devices. You have HDMI 2.0, which lets you do 4K at 60 Hz, although you're not going to play many games at 4K 60 Hz, maybe like Counter-Strike, which I'm watching the training in the back here, and I pause that just for you guys, just to get this video out. And then you have your DisplayPort 1.4 and your Gigabit Ethernet port, which is all great. And like I said, this is the Hinge 4 design, where the vents have their own dedicated area, which is really good because it keeps the heat away from your hands, which has been a great thing when I'm gaming on this, is that it's not too hot to the touch when you're playing, but there is heat over here, but it doesn't feel like it's overheating, it's just venting. And lastly, on the other side you have, on the side you have your HDMI 3.0 port. You have a Type-C, but I believe this is only USB 3. It's not Thunderbolt compliant. You have another USB 3, and then you have your combo headphone jack and your microphone jack for those who have portable headphones. And on the bottom side you have extra ventilation, which is really great, and the the rubber feet on the bottom of this laptop give you a bit of ventilation so that it can take some intake and shoot it out the back on this hinge forward. So it's a really great laptop so far. I've been enjoying it. I've been using it for maybe about 3 weeks now as my daily driver instead of using my desktops. Performance has been amazing, and I'll get some benchmarks on screen in just a little bit, but let me continue talking about this. I really love the aluminum casing. It feels really sturdy. There's not too much flex, which I guess I should show you guys. So as you can tell, not too much flex here. It's pretty well designed. They seem to use steel or some sort of metal to reinforce the keyboard. There is not any flex on the keyboard when you use it. Really solid base. You have your LED trackpad, which is also really cool, but I don't know too many uses for it. It's still cool. Why not? I don't see any reason why not. And as you can see here, let's take a look at that hinge for design. And it has really good one-handed use. Like, I'm gonna open this up with one hand, no problem. That's one cool thing about the Hinge 4 design, but it also is that this laptop is quite heavy. It's one of the downsides to the Alienware 15, is that because they use such sturdy construction, they stopped caring about how light the laptop actually is and just about how sturdy and usable it is. So that's one of the things. It is heavy at about 7.5 pounds, as compared to something like the Razer Blade 14, which is significantly lighter at about 4.5-5 pounds, I believe. I do kind of want that, don't get me wrong, but this Alienware has been performing great. We're going to get those benchmarks in a second. But overall, it is loud under load. Something about the noise level of a PS4 on heavy load So it is decently loud, but it doesn't get overly hot, and like I said, it's nice to the touch when you're playing on the keyboard. Of course, you're going to use a separate mouse because who uses the trackpad for gaming anyways? So I gotta say, I've been liking the Alienware 15 R3 so far. One thing you gotta keep in mind though is if you have purchased yours, there was a set of the Alienware laptop, which is before December 1st or December 6th, that the build date, sometimes they had really bad thermal issues. There was like a thermal pad that wasn't completely covering the CPU, or they were using a thermal paste stamp instead of just applying the thermal paste normally, and that caused some heating issues or some inconsistent temps where one part of the package of the CPU would be 10 degrees Celsius higher than the other, which is not good. You don't want that. But luckily they were aware of it and they send a technician out as long as you bought it from them. So this has been great to me so far. I've noticed no issues with that, and that's because I had it with the build date after December 6th. So keep that in mind if you're debating buying this laptop, or you're buying it off of Kijiji or Craigslist or eBay or used from someone you know. Just check the build date, check that the warranty is all good to go, and you can you guys have seen the Alienware 15 R3. It is a beautiful laptop. It does command a lot of attention, but it does command a lot of weight. It is a heavy machine. It does get a little loud, but what can you expect from a 15-inch laptop? Even at this size, it's still decently portable, but you probably want a lighter laptop if you're taking it to school or anything of a more portable use. If you're looking for video editing, awesome gaming, and photo editing on the go, this is pretty good. The battery life, like I said, is 3.5 to 4 hours of moderate use. Some streaming video, some light photo editing, some light video editing will get you through the day of 3 to 4 hours, but just expect to charge it. Now, if you're debating getting the 60 Hz or the 120 Hz version with G-Sync or with Optimus, I will be making a video very soon as I'm getting a 120 Hz version in just to test and just to see the difference between the IPS and the TN panel. It is a big debate for some people to have either 120 Hz or 60 Hz or better viewing angles. We'll see, we'll test it, and we'll have a video up for you guys so you guys can check that there. Check the eye in the corner, and we'll have that video up for you within a couple weeks when it comes in, and you'll be able to make the decision yourself if you care about better viewing angles, better color accuracy, or if you want that sweet 120 Hz smooth refresh rate with the G-Sync to sync up your graphics card with the display simultaneously. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll put a link to where you can buy the Alienware 15 R3 yourself and maybe give it a whirl. Maybe it's a laptop you'd like to get. I got some coupon codes to cut the price down almost $400+ before tax, which saved me a pretty penny. Plus you get Dell rewards. It's a whole spiel. I can help you guys with that in another video. But again, it's a great laptop. Don't hesitate to get it. But if you want something more portable and you're willing to pay the premium, go look at the Razer Blade 2016 Razer Blade 14. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Maybe get subscribed, as I'll be doing more videos just like this, reviewing laptops, making PCs, saving some money, saving you some money, and maybe giving you some tips and reviews along with it. Again, guys, don't forget to do it live.